is Joshua Beeben, and I am a senior at Penn State.
Okay. And what's your major?
Information Science and Technology.
Okay. Now, can you give me what you think the definition is for a carbon footprint?
My understanding of a carbon footprint would be how much carbon emissions that not only you emit, but how much you also cause others to emit, and doing services to you.
How do you think your own individual carbon footprint compares with others at Penn State?
I would say it's probably on the lower range of the student body. I'm not perfect, but I do use a fair amount of carbons, but not as much as some other students do.
Are you concerned with energy costs, like say for gasoline, if you have to drive frequently, or since you live in an apartment, maybe electricity bills or gas bills? Is that a concern to you right now?
Oh, definitely. I do need transportation to go to work. I also need pay for my own electric bill, so it's definitely a concern.
Okay. How often do you work?
I usually work 20 hours a week.
Okay, and how do you get to work? Do you walk?
I usually take the bus or walk.
Okay.
Usually bus.
Okay. And do you think that you individually can do anything to cut your own carbon footprint or cut your overall costs of energy?
Well, just the little things actually help the best. You unplug your computer when you leave the apartment, turn off the lights when you're not using a room. Just little things like that actually help add up to a really big savings of your carbon footprint.
All right, thank you.
Krista Spielman, and I'm a student here at Penn State University, majoring in animal bioscience and immunology and infectious diseases.
Okay. And what year are you?
I'm a junior this year.
Okay. Now, Krista, what do you think a carbon footprint is?
A carbon footprint is something that it's everything what you do has an effect on the environment, and how you affect the environment, that's your footprint that you leave behind.
Okay, and how do you think your individual carbon footprint compares to other Penn State students?
I would say that it would probably be lower than most Penn State students. I don't drive, I walk everywhere, and I try to recycle as much as possible. Well, I know that most people, they try to recycle somewhat, but not a whole bunch.
Okay, do you take advantage of the recycling bins in the dorms?
I do.
All right, now are you concerned as a student about energy costs, how they're very high right now, and the volatility? Do you think that these will affect you in the upcoming years as you graduate from Penn State?
I think they will, because as of right now I don't really have to pay an electric bill, but that I'm sure with the energy prices going up, it's going to increase and affect me greatly, and just getting my own apartment and just having to deal with the cost that.
Do you think that maybe you could do anything to affect, maybe once you get into an apartment, your own costs, or even now to affect Penn State's costs, to bring them down? Any small things that you could do?
Just turning off lights when you're not in the house, or not using that part of the room, trying to limit stuff, keeping things unplugged when not in use.
My name is Justin Wagner. I'm one of the co-owners of Freeze Thaw Cycles Bike Shop in State College. We do a big variety of bike stuff here. We do a lot of repairs. We sell bikes, new and recycled. We try and reuse a lot of things, materials and bike parts.
Okay. So how do you feel your role in the State College community is with your business?
We get a lot of people to ride their bikes instead of driving or taking the bus. Walking's great, but riding a bike is much more efficient and fun. So we do a lot of commuter business where we'll set bikes up specifically to be low maintenance and simple, fun to ride. And then we also do, tons of advocacy things in town with opening bike lanes and setting up, just to make the town a better place to ride bikes.
Cool. How do you think your store's carbon footprint is compared to other businesses in town?
Well, we started our business in a small apartment where we were kind of recycling old bike parts, building up bikes for ourselves and friends. And throughout the years, we've tried to continue our whole recycling mantra, per se. Anything we can't recycle bike-wise for parts, we do scrap aluminum recycling, we do steel, rubber, That's both tires and tubes. All of our fixtures around the store are recycled or built out of recycled materials. So we really, we try and give things another use, whether it's a bike part or a piece of wood or scrap metal.
Cool. How do you think that with the rising energy costs that your business has either done worse or better with emissions or just business in general?
You mean influence on our business?
Yes.
We've seen a huge increase just this past season, probably from about March until now, in customers wanting racks for their bicycles, things to turn their bike from just a recreational thing into a practical tool. To instead of driving their car to the store, they're carrying their groceries on their bike.
And you guys said that you recycle and you feel it's necessary to recycle everything, and it helps your business out.
Absolutely. In the bike industry, there's an awful lot of waste going on, and that's due to packaging. New bikes in a box come with more packaging than you could ever imagine. They're coming from overseas oftentimes, and so when we are building a bike, taking it out of a box, assembling it, we try to really be careful and save each piece. We do a lot of bike shipping, so we'll recycle the packing material for shipping a bike for somebody, and anything else goes to the appropriate recycling place. But reusing things that would normally just get discarded is kind of our specialty here, whether it's a bike part or packing materials. Cool.
And with all this conservation effort, what personally drives you to conserve and make your business an energy efficient, conservation-minded business?
There's so many reasons. One, it's fun. It's just a hobby of mine, reusing things, kind of finding a new life for stuff. Two, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, the normal, kind of business model for bike shops is sort of going to the back burner now, and a shop like ours, which caters to different needs of cyclists but also is conscious of that, and that's why we do this. It's just fun and it's the right thing to do. Cool. A good example of one bike came in this box, all this packaging was on it, and a lot of places will just toss that in the garbage because it's the quickest to do, but take some time, sort it out. We'll either reuse this and send someone's bike out of here for them, or it'll go to the recycling yard. These all go to the recycling place. We actually pay to get these recycled. But tubes get sent to Seattle and get made into messenger bags and wallets.
I'm Shelley Banker, owner of the Rag & Bone Vintage Clothing Store.
Okay. How do you think that your business compares with other businesses within State College in energy consumption and recycling, things like that?
Well, practically everything in the store is recycled because it's all secondhand clothing. So what we sell is all recycled. And as far as the running of the business, I do try and do some things like use fluorescent bulbs or non-fluorescent bulbs. It's the tell me. Yeah, but that's not right, is it?
No, yeah, the bad ones are incandescent.
Incandescent. Okay, so it's the fluorescent bulbs. We recycle, what bottles and newspapers we read here. So things like that.
With the rising costs of prices and the general economy, have you seen an increase or decrease in sales in your store? Do you feel that the students really like to recycle things, clothes like this? Or?
Yeah, I think the students are starting to see the connection between vintage clothing as being kind of hip, stylish clothing, but also it's reused, so there's that green factor to it. So I think people are starting to realize that, they can contribute that way by buying secondhand clothes.
Okay. Have you done anything in your store to reduce your emissions with rising costs, or just in general because of climate change, turn down the heat or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, luckily we use very little heat here because since we're sandwiched in between a couple of other businesses, it usually kind of naturally stays pretty warm. We try and open the door versus run the air conditioner if it's not that hot of a day. Like I said, I switched all the light bulbs and all the lamps that I use. So yeah, things like that.
What drives you personally to run a store like this, or to conserve in general? This is an energy, environmentally friendly store, so what made you do something like this in the first place?
Well, I mean, I definitely am conscious of where the world is going as far as, we have a crisis with energy and overuse and needing to cut back, and I think for me, I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I sort of, have a little bit of a thought in my head, like, well, what is she going to be left with? So, and also, I find that I'm sort of learning myself by wanting to teach her. So, by sort of teaching her how to maybe conserve or understand recycling, I sort of learn myself. So.
Cool.